Hello, boys and girls of grade 5. I am Miss Martina Archisemple, and today we'll be looking at the environment. And our subtopic is the causes, effects, and how we can prevent pollution on land. Pollution, also called environmental pollution. The addition of any substance, which is solid, liquid, or gas, or any form of energy, such as heat, sound, or radioactivity, to the environment at a rate faster than it can be dispersed, dilute, decomposed, recycled, or stored in some harmless form. What is land pollution? Land pollution refers to the deterioration of the Earth's land surfaces at and below ground level. The cause is the accumulation of solid and liquid waste materials that contaminate groundwater and the soil. That's when the place is overpacked with garbage. It's smelly, right? It's soggy and all these different things. It's contaminated. The water is murky and has dead animals at the top and those things. That is what we're talking about, land pollution. Causes of land pollution. Littering. Littering domestic waste, meaning the waste that we use in our home. The things that we use in our home and we get rid of them not in the proper manner. Then the reckless disposal of toxic waste. Natural disasters like hurricanes, that also causes land pollution. And we have deforestation. Those are some ways or causes of land pollution. Again, littering, domestic waste, the reckless disposal of toxic waste, natural disasters like hurricane, and deforestation. Here are some pictures where we have natural disasters would have happened. We have deforestation and we have the pollution on land. Also, if we look carefully, we can see the vehicles that are driving. They have waste that is polluting the atmosphere. So all of these are pictures of ways and things that causes land pollution. Essentially, every area of the living world, including water that isn't safe to drink, toxic waste is poisonous and affects human health in many ways, causing us to have lung disease, heart attack, things on our skin, right? These are some poison, how it affects the human health. Polluted soil, which leads to a loss of fertile land for agriculture. Now, when we lose a fertile soil for agriculture, we can no longer have these big juicy fruits. No, because the ground is not fertile enough. Then we have the endangerment and the extinction of species in wildlife. Because of deforestation, the cutting down of trees causes these animals to become extinct because they have to go to other environment where they are not usually accustomed to. habitat shifting, where some animals are forced to flee where they live in order to survive. An increase in wildfires due to polluted areas often becoming very dry. We also have increased air pollution, which burning waste contributes to. Then we have deforestation. Deforestation destroys land surfaces and makes it easier for erosion or washing away of soil material to occur. How does this occur? Now, when the place gets extremely dry, because there's no tree there, right? And then some earthquake like the tremor we had, or when the sudden rain comes and it washes on the surface between the cracks start to break away. So if you have or if you're living near to trenches or ponds, you would have that experience. Then we have solid waste such as bottles, plastics, leftover food, etc., which are improperly disposed of. It harbors diseases causing organisms like flies and rodents. You know those big rats and so on? Yes. Okay, now how can we prevent all of these bad and harmful things from happening? Given the disastrous effects of land pollution, taking preventative measures to reduce its impact moving forward is critical or crucial, and it takes you and I to fix these things. How can we do it? One, let's start with reforestation. Then we're going to talk about using fewer pesticides and chemicals in agriculture. The third point is that we can reduce, reuse, and recycle as well. Reforestation. Reforestation involves replanting an area with trees. This can be needed for areas that have experienced wildfires, for instance, or where trees had been chopped down and milled. This process helps to bind the soil, which helps to protect it from land pollution and prevents soil erosion and flooding. All right, so when we have our fathers and our uncles and so on going into the forest and cutting down these trees, that is what causes deforestation. So what we can do, as they cut, they can replant, they can plant back the little trees, and over a period of time, it would grow up again and protect the soil, right? Using fewer pesticide and chemicals in agriculture. Now, given that the use of pesticides and chemicals in farming and agriculture greatly contribute to land pollution, finding alternatives will help to reduce the environmental impact. Now, farmers, for instance, can use natural ingredients by switching from biofertilizers to manure. Manure are the drop-ins of animals, right? So if we use the drop-ins from animals, it would not destroy our land, because pesticides and chemicals are very dangerous to our soil. And after a period of time, we would find that if we keep spraying our yard and spraying our yard with a particular chemical, eventually grass isn't growing there. So when we have this long dry, what do you think is going to happen? Right, our earth will quickly start cracking away, and it can even damage the foundation of our building or homes that we're living in, right? The drains and so on, they start cracking and the concrete crack and so on. So those are some effects that it has on the land. How can we reduce, reuse, and recycle? At the individual level, you and I, there are many things we can do to reduce our contribution to land pollution. One of the simplest ways to do this is to reuse or recycle items so that you aren't creating waste out of a material or item that still has a purpose. So those nice bottles that we buy, those big bottles of juices and drinks and so on in, good. Now we can use those bottles to fill water to use in our fridge. Or if we have a nice garden or we don't have enough space, what can we do? We can take those little bottles, we can cut them, bore holes on them, full mold and so on other soil inside, and we can plant greens, we can plant seasoning and so on. So like that, we are using or reusing and recycling the same items, and like that we can reduce waste. Also, householders and consumers should be educated on ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle waste materials. Only use safe methods to manage waste like landfill dumping. The government should select suitable sites for disposal of toxic waste. Yes, the government should be held responsible for disposing of toxic waste in a suitable manner. So let's be the change for our community. Let's be the what? Yes, let's be the change for our community and know the importance of what can be recycled or what can be reused. Those that practice improper disposal of solid waste should be penalized. Do you boys and girls agree with that? Yes, we all should agree with that, and we should work on ourselves. Correct. Now, practice reforestation or the replanting of trees. After a lesson, we have 4 simple questions that I want you to answer there. Yes. 1. What cause of land pollution produces large holes in the ground and can cause erosion? Again, what cause of land pollution produces large holes in the ground and can cause erosion? Second question, what cause of land pollution uses chemicals such as pesticides and herbicides? Again, what cause of land pollution uses chemicals such as pesticides and herbicides? Number 3, how can land pollution harm the environment? How can land pollution harm the environment? Our final question, what do we call large areas where garbage is placed on the land? What do we call large areas where garbage is placed on the land? in our conclusion today, we're going to recap what we would have done for the boys and girls who were a bit late to our lessons. All right, we looked at land pollution. What we looked at? Land pollution. And we defined pollution. Pollution, also called environmental pollution, the addition of any substance which is solid, liquid, or gas, or any form of energy such as heat, sound, or radioactivity to the environment at a rate faster than it can be dispersed, diluted, decomposed, recycled, or stored in some harmless form. Then we talk about what is land pollution. And we say that land pollution refers to the deterioration of the Earth's land surfaces at and below ground level. We talk about some few causes of land pollution, where we say littering, domestic waste, reckless disposal of toxic waste, natural disaster like hurricanes, deforestation. Those are some causes of land pollution. Then we even looked at effects of land pollution. And we say water that isn't safe to drink, toxic waste is poisonous and affects human health in many ways, polluted soil, which leads to a loss of fertile land for agriculture, habitat shifting, where some animals are forced to flee where they live in order to survive, and an increase in wildfires due to polluted areas often becoming very dry. We even talk about how to prevent land pollution, and some areas or some pointers are reforestation, using fewer pesticides and chemicals in agriculture, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So let's be the change in our community and know the importance of what can be recycled and what can be reused to save our environment. So long. I hope you had fun. Bye, boys and girls.